Hi, Accelerated Algebra. You can see that I need to rest my voice, make sure I'm fine before I come back to school. So I'm sorry I'm not there. Use this video to help you with your sequences packet, and I'll be back soon. Okay, start with A1 equals 2. Five more. No big deal, right? Let's do this next one. This idea of defining a sequence in terms of what you have to do to the previous term is the idea of recursion. Make sure you have your sequences packet so that you can follow along. Okay, so you're going to figure out how to find the nth term by performing operations on the previous term or terms. Here we go. We got an example sequence, a simple one. Now, before we've written a formula like this, or some of you read it like this, that's an explicit formula. A recursive formula says start with 3 and then to find the current term, take the previous term and add 2 to it. So a sub n minus 1, that's the term before the previous term. And we usually add this in because this only works when you're in the second term and so on. Okay, let's look at some formulas, write out what it means in words, and figure out what kind of sequence we have. So this says start at 0, then to find the current term, take the previous term, and subtract 3 from it. So let's see what that looks like. 0, -3, -6, -9. With this formula, so we start at 10, and then it says take the previous term and multiply by 3. This is a tricky sequence, but you've seen it before. 1, 1, and then this says take the previous term and the one before that and add them together. So 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on. So this should really go over here. Not geometric or arithmetic. Okay, now you just have to write out the terms. This says take the previous term and multiply it by 1/2. I'll leave this one for you actually and do C with you. Now this says multiply the previous term by 2 and then add 1. So 8 and then add 1, 9. 18 and then add 1, 19. 38 and then add 1, 39. Okay, this one is multiplying by half every time, so that's geometric. This one is neither. It's not an adding pattern or a multiplying pattern. You figure out the middle one. Okay, we have to write a recursive formula now. So now we have to make the formula. Well, it's easy to start. A sub 1 equals 4. And then let's figure out what the pattern is. It looks like multiplying by -2. Okay, great. So if I want to know the current term, that's the previous term times -2. And most people will write it this way. Instead. So I'll erase that. Great, nothing too bad. Let's look at this one. It seems like this one has more of an adding pattern. How much do we have to add each time? Okay, so the first term is 9, and then to get any current term, we take the previous term, and we add 27 to it. Great. See if you can do the last one, and then you can check your work on the answer key or work with the people at your table. Okay. Now this one has you bopping around. Explicit formula is what we did before. Recursive is the new thing. Okay, so explicit, I'll let you think about that one. You could write it either of these two ways. Okay, for recursive, start with -10 to find the current term, take the previous term, and add 6. That's it. Okay, for this one, I recommend that you go backwards, do the first 4 terms first, and then write the explicit formula. All right, so let's write it out. So we start with 2, and then multiply by -3. Okay, write the explicit formula now. That's one way to do it. You might find another way too. Okay, so your job today is check the agenda on Schoology, complete the Desmos from yesterday, at least up to slide 15, complete your sequences packet, and use the answer key on the agenda for today so that you can check your answers. Help each other, be awesome. Thank you.